up sunlight in your eyes. Dreams still dancing from the night. Don't let fear steal your fire. You've come too far to just survive. Every heartbeat's telling you to run. Chase the stars, you're not the only one. Live your life, don't hold back. Take the road, don't look back. Shine your truth, let it light the dark. You were made to leave a mark. Fall in love, take the chance. Sing your soul, dance your dance. No regrets, just rise and fight. This is your time. Live your life. Every scar is proof you're strong. Every loss helps you belong. The world needs your voice, your light. Be bold, be wild, be unapologetic, gently right. There's no map to who you are, but every step becomes your star. Live your life, don't hold back. Take the road, don't look back. Shine your truth, let it light the dark. You were made to leave a mark. Fall in love, take the chance.
Great job,
Sing your soul, dance your dance. No regrets, just rise and fight. This is your time. Live your life. Don't wait for someday. Make today the way. You rise above, you fly away. You're the storm, you're the flame. Live your life, don't hold back. Take the road, don't look back. Shine your truth, let it light the dark. You were made to leave a mark. Fall in love, take the chance. Sing your soul, dance your dance. No regrets, just rise and fight. This is your time. Live your life.
Welcome everyone to Alter and Ambitions Live. I am Kamaru, and today we just want to talk. Whose life are you building? You're working so hard, but whose life are we building? For whose freedom? That's the question. Today, we want to talk about that. We want to get into that question. This isn't about just personal development. This is about divine alignment, aligning our spirit with our structure, inner peace and outer progress. You're not just watching a live stream. This is a timestamp of the day I decided to present to the world my most magnetic identity. And I suspect many of you want the same thing. So this is a place where we intend for everyone who participates to grow to become their most magnetic self. And we'll do this by using the principles and the framework of God to build life and build freedom. financial freedom, emotional freedom, success freedom, time freedom, money freedom, personal freedom. This is the intent of this show, Alter and Ambitions Live. To build life, to build freedom. Thank you for joining. Thank you, guys. And I want to welcome you into Alter and Ambitions Live. Before we get into what we want to talk about today, we really have to set the tone. We have to relax. Tomorrow is going to be a holiday. And I suspect many of us, we've driven home from a busy day at work. Probably we're in traffic. You were in traffic. And you were just so excited to make it home. So very excited just to make it home so that you could rest, recharge, and rejuvenate on this long weekend. And many of you are probably going to take trips to family for celebration. You know, those moments are what we work for and to live our lives. But what if we don't have to wait for a holiday to be able to feel and have that freedom? That freedom that the holiday brings sometimes when we travel to different places and we visit our family and there's just festivity. What if every day in our life should be a day of festivity? Whether we are going through trials, we're going through troubles, or we're going through our wins and happiness, whatever the situation. What if we could live a life of freedom? Freedom to be our most magnetic self. Happiness through struggles and sadness, and also through joy and breakthrough. We want to discuss, we want to talk about those things. We want to not just talk, because there's so much talk that goes on online. We want to actually build it. We want to do it. That's the intent of Alter and Ambitions Live. And I want to make a promise to you guys that as this show grows and develops, you're going to see a lot more of how we will research and bring clearly from the Bible and from the Word of God the frameworks that He has already given us for success, not just spiritual success, but financial success, health success, relationship success, success in every aspect of who we are. This show will endeavor to bring those frameworks to you, and we'll look at frameworks from the business space, the world, and YouTube and all these areas that there's so much information in, and we'll put it through our Jesus filter. We'll put it through our Jesus filter to see how do these frameworks stand up. Are these frameworks stamped and approved by Jesus and by God Himself? That's one of the core intent of this show. And I want to promise you that if you subscribe to this show, we're going to build a community that just is going to take the world on fire. It's going to light up the world. It's going to be a flaming fire through this world, because I believe now is the time that God has called us who are His children, those who endeavor to be a warrior in His kingdom, to build life, to build freedom, to use our story for His glory and our good. So let's set the tone. Let's get in. Let's relax and recharge. Let's relax and recharge. The sun sets. We leave behind the noise of today. This is your sacred space. My failure. You are not your failure. We are God's. Tonight, we open the door to breakthrough and joy. Not because of anything that we have did, but because of who we are becoming. Yes. Let's just breathe and relax. Right. There was a moment not too long ago where I realized something terrifying. Something I was burning out, working so hard, grinding every day. Then one question hit me like a freight train. Whose life am I building? Whose freedom am I building? Because it did not feel like mine. And I can tell you, a lot of you, I know many of you feel that way. If you are someone that is in corporate or was in corporate or in some area of your life, you sometimes wonder, I wondered, is what I'm doing worthwhile for my identity, for who I am? Because we can find so many other reasons to why what we do is important. And those reasons are probably definitely good reasons and great reasons. But, we sacrifice, we show up, but really inside we're not really free. We're just complying. And the worst part, most of us, we call that success. I thought I was chasing purpose, but really I was just chasing approval. I thought I was building freedom, but if anything, I really felt trapped. I really felt trapped, if anything. Really. I would say yes to almost everything because that's what I thought that it took to win. In every project, every expectation, I always felt like I was seeking the approval of my manager and people around me in general. Oh, and all those labels that I had on myself, I wanted those labels so I could feel good about who I thought I was or who I think that they thought I was. But I wasn't building my dream. I was really, when I looked at it, I recognized I was funding somebody else's dream. I remember one night I was laying in bed and after I'd prayed and did some research, I was just laying in bed, really couldn't fall asleep. And I was just thinking before I fall asleep. And I asked myself weird question that I asked myself, if I died tomorrow, would like if I died and I was able to see like and look back at my life, would I recognize that life? Would it be the actual life that I thought that I really wanted? Not even I wanted, but that I think that God wanted for me. That question really shook me. It made me realize that freedom, nobody will ever hand financial freedom or life freedom, personal freedom to me or to you. It has to be built decision by decision. So now I try to ask myself all the time, am I making a decision that's building my life, building my freedom? Or am I building somebody else's? So as I thought about that, I think for many of you, it would be really good if you can ask yourself that same question every week or whatever time you want to pick. Ask yourself, whose life are you building? Whose freedom are you building? Are you building freedom for yourself and your family? Or is it for somebody else? That's the question I believe we all have to ask ourselves. And that question led me to so much more because I had left my job a couple months ago, and I'll tell you more about that story in the next live stream. But during that time, I I was I was in fear and panic, and that question really straightened me out to move from fear and panic to peace. It led me to Ephesians 4, verse 6, which is my anchor verse now, which says, be careful for nothing, but by prayer and supplication, make your requests known unto God. And that verse led me to Genesis 1, that gave me a framework to now start building my life, building my freedom from a place of peace and power and purpose. And I want to share that with you. I want to share that framework with you. So, what I discovered in Genesis, it is not theory. When I look at it, many big business, tycoon, billion-dollar businesses, tech companies have used this framework, but they won't give credit to that, hey, this maybe was inspired by Genesis or something. They will not say it. But this framework, absolutely, it's out there. Like you just have to look more carefully at how some of those, I would say like Steve Jobs, how some of those people built their movement, their company, Apple. Is not by chance or accident. They actually had a framework. And if you trace back some of these framework to some fundamental principles, you'll see that they're connected to the Bible. Right. So I want to share this framework because the story I shared with you before the framework isn't just theory, it's my story. And this live stream is part of reclaiming my freedom. I used to wait to feel ready before doing something like this. Because, for example, tonight, like, well, not I'm not so nervous in that, but the first one or second episode that I did, I was very nervous to come on. But I notice every time I'm coming on to this show, I'm becoming less nervous. And I know as time progresses, my true voice, my true magnetic identity is gonna come out and show, and people are gonna see it. And that's the same thing that will happen to you too when you start pushing forward to build life and to build freedom. And this framework that I want to share with you will help you to do that because it's already helping me. You're seeing me on YouTube right now using this same framework, and I'm doing so much other things behind the scene, which I might show a bit of that today because this live stream is where we also show live and raw what we're doing, how we're utilizing these frameworks, executing them, the tactics, how we're actually putting them into practice. We're building in the public sphere so you can see. So I saw something in Genesis. Genesis 1, and not just Genesis alone, actually. This is something that I saw in Jesus's life. Because Jesus was here on earth to build his father's business. To build his father's business. That was his purpose here on earth. And I know maybe sometimes people don't like to hear it like that because they think, business is all about just making money. And it seems like a very simplistic thing and a shallow, uh, they'll say a worldly thing, shallow vanity, materialistic ideology to think about business. But let me say this Jesus came to earth and he was about his father's business. That's exactly what he was. That's what he said to his to Mary. That I must be about my father's business. So I believe that God has called those of us who have received his only begotten son, truly begotten son, not figuratively or metaphorical begotten son, but is truly monogenesis, only begotten son, Jesus. Those of us who have received him, he has given us power not to be servants, but to become sons and daughters. Sons and daughters of a God. That's who we are. Above royalty, above conquerors, more than conquerors. And when I'm saying this, folks, I'm not saying this to sound good or because it's some, those feel good sort of mindset hack nonsense. No, this is real, 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 real as steel. A real ideology. Those of us who have received him, we should be the most powerful people on this earth. And I will not apologize for that. We should be the most powerful set of people on this earth. Those of us who have received the only begotten Son of the Father. The power and purpose and passion should flow through us. We shouldn't be called timid old souls. No, that is not God's set of people. We should be out there being a set of people that when people look, they're like, who are those people? We want to be like those people. Not just in, good deeds and character, but even from a success standpoint. Let me make it plain. We should have some of the biggest businesses. We should have some of the most money. I have to put it plain like that because sometimes when we talk in code, the message doesn't get through. And people think that this is just games and you're just, you're talking nice and beating around the bush. No, plain as day. We should have some of the biggest businesses. We should have mountains of money. We should have mountains of charity, mountains of good works. And let me clarify this. None of that, though, will commend us or save us in the kingdom of God. We have to remember that. But if we truly take hold of the power of God, because it's right there. It's there in the Bible. Right there. It's not hiding. Like there are some people who they don't even believe in God, and they're taking hold of these frameworks and turning them into multi-billion-dollar ventures. While the people who claim that they're people of God are old, cold, timid souls. How can that be? That's nonsense. Utter nonsense. So I started this live stream specifically for that reason. To wake up the sleeping giants, those who think themselves that they're all cold, timid souls, but they're really giants. They're out there to help wake them up, just as how I was once in that state of feeling being an old, cold. I'm not old physiologically, but old in the mannerism, like old, cold, and timid, frail, lack energy, feeling inferior. I was in that state. But I decided that that cannot be the end of me. That cannot be what I am supposed to be. So I had to do something about it. And that's why you are hearing my voice today on this live stream. And if this is reaching you, I know you are out there. You're feeling the same thing because I can see these people. They're scattered about all over the place. And I can see it in their eyes that they long for, you long for something more. You long to be more than just whatever they say you are in your job, whatever title that they've given you, whatever job description that they've given you, whatever society has said you are, you long to be more because deep down you know that you are more. I know because you know how I knew that? Because I was there. I was in that same exact state. I felt like crap in my esteem, my identity. I took upon myself the voice of the world and the enemy and the devil, and then started to believe that. And you know the worst part? Though I made those voices my voice. I started tricking myself to think that those voices were my voice. And that's when it's dangerous. When you take the voice of the enemy, the world, and all those other voices that are set against you for you to believe, have a false belief, and when you integrate that and let that voice now become your voice, that's when it's dangerous. Because once you don't let it be those voice become your voice, you have a higher chance of overcoming and finding your most magnetic self. I want to share that with you. There's so much we want to talk about, folks. That's why it's very important. As this channel grows, we're going to get into it. And even though you can see the transition early, when I came in onto this live stream, I was a little bit more reserved. My full self, my full energy wasn't coming out. But as I'm getting more into it, you can see that, and it's just happening. And that's what you can expect when you just jump in and start aiming with precision to become your most magnetic self. Because guess what? Identity precedes prosperity. A lot of us, we want prosperity. We want financial prosperity. We want relationship prosperity. We want emotional prosperity. We want health prosperity. But the first thing has to come is identity. And I can prove that to you that that's the first thing that must happen because that is what God has put in my ear. And there's a mountain of evidence that supports that. A mountain. That's for another live stream. We're not going to get into all of that. But right now, I did promise you guys that I want to talk about this framework. So let me get into this framework. So if we go into Genesis 1, Genesis 1, chapter 1, Genesis chapter 1. If I can find that, let's find Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. What does it say? I'm gonna play it and let you guys hear it. What does it say? Genesis 1, Genesis chapter 1. Right? Let's play this and hear what it says.
Genesis chapter 1. In the beginning God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, And the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said,
All right, I'm gonna
Let
pause
there
it
be a
right
firmament.
there. Let's pause it right there. Let's pause it right there. Let's pause it right there. So Genesis 1 verse 1, we just read it. It says, in the beginning, we read it and listened to it. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the waters. And God said, let there be clarity. Did it say clarity? No, it said what? Let there be clarity. No, it said, let there be light, clarity. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. That's it.
In
Look at this
the
video.
beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Then God said,
Boom.
let there light. Evening and the morning, the first day. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Then God said,
Boom.
All right. So I mentioned that I saw a framework from Genesis and from the life of Jesus, because he was about building his father's business. And I saw a 3-step framework that I want to show to you folks tonight. A 3-step framework. I call it the PPM framework. This is the blueprint that Jesus used to build his father's business in the flesh. The PPM framework. So, PPM. The first P stands for prepare. That's the first P. The first P stands for prepare. What are the things we have to prepare? The objectives of this phase is, one, we have to discover or clarify your most magnetic, your most magnetic identity. That's objective number 1 of the prepare phase. Because without identity, we cannot have clarity. An identity, again, must precede prosperity. Identity precedes prosperity. Very important. Objective number 2 in phase 1, the prepare phase, the first P. You have to find your people to serve. I know there's some of us who might not be interested in building businesses, but we want financial freedom. We want time freedom. We want place freedom. We want to be able to travel to wherever we want without having to worry about money. We want to spend and shop and buy stuff and take care of our family without the financial stress. That's probably one of the biggest challenges people have. Because a lot of people, we think that if we solve our financial issues, then all the other issues will be solved. And for maybe that's true to some point. One moment here. I'm having a little technical difficulty with the stream, it seems. Ooh, yeah. Technical difficulty here with the stream. Not sure why. Let's see. I'm trying to resolve this. Technical difficulties here with the stream. Give me a moment, guys.
Wake up, sunlight in your eyes. Dreams still dancing from the night. Don't let fear steal your fire. You've come too far to just survive. Every heartbeat's telling you to run. Chase the stars, you're not the only one. Live your life, don't hold back. Take the road, don't look back. Shine your truth, let it light the dark. You were made to leave a mark. Fall in love, take the chance. Sing your soul, dance your dance. No regrets, just rise and fight. This is your time. Live your life. Every scar is proof you're strong. Every loss helps you belong. The world needs your voice, your light. Be bold, be wild, be unapologetic, gently right. There's no map to who you are, but every step becomes your star. Live your life, don't hold back. Take the road, don't look back. Shine your truth, let it light the dark. You were made to leave a mark. Fall in love, take.
All right, folks, we're back. I think the stream health is now back to healthy. I don't know what happened there, but I had to look through some stuff and do a little bit of refreshing. So it seems like our stream health is now back in good condition. So we're here. All right, let's continue. So, yes, we're on phase of the first P of the PPM framework. We're on the first P of the PPM framework. That's the first one. We're on the first P. So I was at the part where we need to find our people, find your people to serve. We all have to serve something or someone. We all have to serve. The third objective is we have to quietly validate our people and solution market fit. For those of us who are building businesses, that must happen. That's part of the prepare phase. And the fourth objective is we have to build internal resilience, and mental clarity. Super important. We have to build internal resilience and mental clarity, and that clarity will come from our identity. Right? So that's the first P. That's P. That's P number one. Let's get into the second P. The second P is prove. So when you think about it, even look at Jesus. Jesus, all throughout his ministry, proved his message. How did he do that? He worked miracles, like he freed people spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. He was proving his message because you can see, even if you look through his life alone, the first thing he did was to prepare. And look at it. He was Jesus and he did prepare. He literally prepared for 30 years for a 3.5 year ministry. 30 years for a 3.5 year ministry. That's a lot of preparation. 10 times, 10x the preparation time. Yeah, 10x. Wow. And the first thing before he started his public ministry, the first thing he was tested on was his identity. If thou be the Son of God, if thou be the Son of God, then XYZ. And I can see right now, even the devil is trying to attack my stream because I can see here it's saying my stream status is poor again. But that's not going to stop us from still streaming. We're going to continue on. We are going to continue on. So hope maybe on your end, folks, you might be experiencing some buffering based on what YouTube is saying to me here. But that's not going to stop me. I'm going to continue speaking even when the devil and his enemies are trying to attack my stream. I will still keep on speaking. So anyways, prepare. Well, already prepare. Now prove. Prove is the second P, right? We have to deliver value first. That's all Jesus did. Jesus delivered value. He raised the dead. He healed those who couldn't walk. He healed lepers. So many different things he did. He did spiritual and emotional healing. A lot of value first. So in the proof phase, we have to lead with value. And that is why it's so critical for us to build our most magnetic identity from the prepare phase, because we need to have something to give. And I recognize in myself, like right now, I am able to be happy for anybody's success. There was a time when I couldn't be. I would probably feel envious. And I think I know where that came from. It was because I had a really shattered identity. I felt inferior. And so whenever I saw somebody else who seemed like they were living their best life and they didn't seem to be exhibiting that inferiority like I was, I got jealous. And I felt envy. But now that I've found my true identity, I found myself, I can be happy for anybody, for their success, without feeling any sort of envy or anything. And I think that's it. When you get to that place, when you have your most magnetic identity, you can be happy for everybody, even for those who hate you. Even those who hate you. So it is very important. The identity is the foundation. It precedes prosperity, right? So back to phase 2. We're at objective number 2 in phase 2. The first objective in phase 2, again, phase 2 is the prove phase, right? We already, number 1, deliver value first. And then number 2, we have to go where people are. Go where the people are, the people that we want to serve. We have to go there. All right? And then number 3, using in Jesus' own framework, we have to tell our stories. Share our stories. Right now, I am doing the same thing on this platform. And when you start out, it's not going to be perfect. You're going to have to learn a lot because there's so much I have to be learning. To just even come on here and deliver this show, there's so much that I have to learn. So much behind the scenes that I have to learn from the tech standpoint, what I'm going to say, I have to learn about lighting and YouTube and managing the stream and so many different automation and stuff. But I have to do it. Like, what else am I gonna do? Not do it? No. Like, why would I prefer to not be myself, be my most magnetic self, and just die worthless? Less like I can't even imagine that. Just dying, never having never lived. No, I that's impossible. I would prefer to die early and fast than die and having never lived. Nope, honestly. It might sound weird, but that's the state that I've gotten to in my mind where I cannot see any other way, but I have to be the best and even at least find out what can I be. I prefer end up walking this path, trying to be my most magnetic self, and then in the end, it turned out to be all for nothing than having never tried. I prefer that. I have no other choice. So I think a lot of you are out there, you feel the same. Because for some things, even when you're failing at it, you feel you're happy about it. Like, do you have like a sport, some sort of something you enjoy, like playing, say, games or something, like playing video games or whatever? Even sometimes when we're failing at it, like the opponent is like killing us or we are not getting the upper hand on the opponent, we still enjoy it, right? Even when it seems like we're failing. I think that's what everybody wants to find. Everybody wants to find that thing where even if they're failing at it, we're still happy about it. That's when you know you've truly found something that's worthwhile going all in on. Right? So, face again, prove, tell our stories. We have to tell our stories because telling the stories set the foundation for item objective number 4 under the proof phase. Item number 4 is we have to build trust through proof. And to show proof, you have to tell stories. So we actually have to get proof. This shouldn't be fake and false. It should be real, real, authentic, real vibes, no matter what. Even if you come on this, like for me, if I came on this show and I was stuttering and all my stuff is not working perfect as I want, I don't care. I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna speak. Even if there's 0 people or 1,000 watching, I'm just gonna speak what God has put in my ear. I'm gonna talk my story. I'm gonna tell my story because the story is what gets you your glory. Your stories are for the glory of God and for our good. That's what our stories are for. And our stories is what builds us and gets us glory. Right? Our stories form actually, they're some of the underlying thing that helps us to form and answer the question, who am I? Stories. We'll talk about that in another section where we dig into another episode. We'll talk about identity. What really is identity? Because I've been talking about this whole thing of the most magnetic identity. But we still need to get into what is identity. There's so much different theories out there. Philosophers have their own theories, their body theory, their memory theory. But I think I have from my own research, I think I found something that I want to share. So more episodes to come as this channel grows. We're gonna I can promise you this, guys. There will not be a better show than this as we grow this channel that will help you to see frameworks from the Bible that can help you to build, even if you want a billion-dollar business, and not just show you the strategy, but we'll also over time, if you subscribe and help to grow this channel, we'll dig more into the actual how real time we are using those frameworks. Because I intended to show a little bit of that today, but I don't know if I'll have time to show it, to give you some of the behind the scenes. We'll call that section Build Log, where I show you exactly how I'm implementing these frameworks and how I'm building it. I'll just briefly explain to you after we finish the frameworks, what I'm doing with those frameworks. But there will not be a better show on YouTube, a better place in this YouTube sphere that will help you to use the principles from the Bible, and not just the Bible, but other principles out there that We know they work. They have real results. We'll use those and put them through our Jesus filter. There will not be a better show. So if you guys subscribe, be part of this, we will grow something great together. Great. And at some point, you want to have people coming onto the show, sharing their stories, having segments within the show where you can share live, ask your question phase. That's where we are right now, the multiply phase. All right, so let me get into, so yeah, my stream is having some issues again, but again, we push on, we push through the fight. That's what we do, we push through the fight. So phase 3 is multiply, that's the M, multiply, right? Through scaling and discipleship, that's how Jesus did it. He built people, not just platform. So he pulled people in. So the objective of this phase is we have to build full systems and community around the mission. Very important. That's number 1. Number 2 is we have to empower others to benefit, to share, and replicate the message. And the last objective in the phase 3, the multiply, we have to create sustainable growth through others, help others to grow. Because when we do that, we will grow ourselves. That's exactly what Jesus did. And the business that my co-founder and I are creating, that's the exact model we're building this upon. We're building a business that will grow others, because we recognize that when we do that, we will grow as well. And it will give us more energy and time and resources to even impact on a broader scale. Jeff Bezos said, I saw an article once from Jeff Bezos where he said that he's probably created about $2.1 trillion in value for other people. When I saw that number, I was like, why does this number look so familiar? 2.1 trillion. Why? There's something about it that just caught my eye. And I started thinking to myself, what is Jeff Bezos' net worth? I was like, wait, I think it's around like 210 billion. 210 billion, yeah, 210 billion. And at the same time, I remember the principle that I was learning in marketing, that when you price your product, you try to price it at 1/10 of whatever value your product delivers to people. So it's like, wait a minute, 1/10, 10, so 10% off 2.1 trillion is 210 billion. And I was like, wait, oh, I see it now. And that confirmed it to me. Like, I was learning that in marketing. I saw that article and I was like, wait, that must be the God math. The God math is, to me now, is you get to keep 10% of whatever else monetary value you create for other people. So if you create $10 in value for other people, you can expect to keep $1. Right? If you create 100, you can expect to keep $10. Around about that. I was like, that's the God math. So I'm like, I should focus on helping to build others, and the bigger and the better and the more I can help others to grow and to build, the more I am going to grow, the more you're going to grow if you use that same exact model as well. That is the God math. The God math right there. Right? So the PPM framework, guys. First P, prepare. Second P is prove. The third P, not the third P, but the third letter, M, multiply, PPM, not parts per million, PPM, prepare, prove, multiply. That's the framework. And so I did promise you I'm going to talk a little bit of how, so I created a whole spreadsheet using that particular framework that I might just flash a little bit of it here, not too much of it, and go over it really quickly. So let me see if I can show you guys that. If I go to here, yes, you should be seeing that right now. So I created a whole, a structure around this particular framework. You can see stages: prepare, prove, multiply. And I have what's the function of this? what's the key tools and frameworks that we could use under each stage, the output, that we should get from this particular phase, the real world analogy to this, and couple that with Jesus's framework, Jesus's principles in the Bible, and other people who like Steve Jobs and those people who are using principles that you can see clearly. It has a roots in what Jesus did. And then there's the readiness criteria for that phase, your breakthrough markers for that phase, AI tool stack we will use for that phase. Because yes, that's another thing. You cannot be a business owner in this time and not use AI tools. It doesn't make sense. Like, that's a crazy business person if you're not using AI tools. Like, not just using ChatGPT to do some silly things here and there, like deep work. Like, you can use AI tools to even do deep research and a lot of different things. But so not just the surface level usage. No, you want to have real advantage as a business owner, you need to use AI tools to its fullest. You can literally multiply yourself just by using AI tools. Because right now in my company, there's only 2 humans, but there's a lot of AI working for us for free. Well, not for free. We pay like $20 a month for. That's another thing I want to share with you guys. For $20 a month, you could build $1 billion business for $20 a month. Honestly, like we'll talk about that in another video. So again, guys, I'm inviting you to subscribe because this channel is going to grow whether or not you subscribe or not, because I know there are people out there who need to hear this, and God is going to bring those people. So anyways, then we have our dashboard metrics, for that, and then our marketing method, one-to-many method, the tooling. So a lot of stuff in here. This spreadsheet, if people wanted people who to join this community, I'll be able to, I'm still refining this. So this is going to become, I'm going to improve it. So improve that I call it the PPM execution cycle dashboard. So I'll improve that sheet, and those who are part of the community will be able to have access to this particular dashboard. And as I build it out even more, people can have access to it, to use it to build their own thing. Whatever it doesn't even have to be a business. It could be that, let's say you're trying to lose weight or something. You could literally use the same framework to do that. You're trying to earn some more money, find a way to build a side business so you don't have to keep your job anymore. You can have some freedom. You can travel to where you want. You can take vacations when you want with your family. You don't have to worry too much about money. Like, this framework is for that. And there's a lot more like frameworks within there. Like, if you see key tools, in the area where I had, let me show this sheet again. In the area where I have the key tools or framework, I also have some micro or sub frameworks within this that you can use to fully execute upon this macro framework. Because the PPM is like a macro framework. The prepare, prove, multiply is a macro framework that we can use to build out, to have clarity. Because again, one of the key things most of us need is we need that clarity. One of the first things God did, he said, let there be clarity. Let there be light. And I believe, again, that clarity will come from your identity, your most magnetic identity. So that's it, guys. A lot more. I'm using this to do so much. Using that framework to, like, this week I started like doing some cold calls to customers to get outreach to customers, to get customers. But then suddenly God just inspired me to say, hey, you need to go back to your framework and take a look. And I went back to my framework, and I went back to the prepare phase and took a look, and I was like, I shouldn't be doing that. I don't think that's the best method to try to do outreach to customers. I should invite them and let them come in. Let those who have the problem and want the solution come to me, invite them instead of forcing myself upon them. And this framework really helped me to lay out a strategy for that and have the tactics to actually execute it. So, marvelous tool to utilize. There's a lot more. Again, this is just the very top of the surface that I'm sharing with you guys. So that's it for a little build log segment too. I didn't put a banner up or whatever, but that was just the build log segment, guys. I should have put the my banner up and all of that, but that's okay. I'm still getting used to operating my controls here. But that was the build log section, and I hope you guys that framework, you will use it, you will apply it. And again, subscribe, reach out to me if you want to learn more about that framework. If you want to be able to utilize that framework to, because what I just showed you was the strategy, right? As this channel grows, you'll get more of the tactics, the how to use that framework, all the different elements within the framework. And I'll show you to how this framework, I can see clearly it's used by first and foremost Jesus, but even by present day entrepreneurs, or even those some of them who have died, like Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, many others are using this. They might call it something different or package it differently, but it's pretty much they're using this PPM framework. So if you subscribe, we will grow faster. We will grow, but if you want to subscribe, we'll grow faster. And these tactics will be revealed faster as well, and in more detail. So just want to mention that to you guys, to invite you to become part of this community, because this channel, I know it's gonna take over the YouTube sphere, no doubt. So I'm still building, but I'm no longer now building from fear, because God has shown me these things, and these things give me so much clarity. When you have clarity, you don't have to be indecisive. You don't have to be indecisive when you have these things to use. You don't have to be indecisive, right? So with that, I rewrote my company's mission. I went back and did a whole deep research on the pain and the dreams of my ideal customer. I built a project charter, and I'm executing according to this blueprint now. So we're pushing on, and we're building not from fear anymore, but from a place of peace and power, not from panic. So today, now that I've shared that with you, I want to ask you guys, has this given you any glimpse of the breakthrough that you can have? Has this given you a slight glimpse of the breakthrough that you can have in your life, the breakthrough that you desire? If yes, I want you guys to type that in the chat. Type yes in the chat if this has given you a glimpse of the breakthrough that you can have utilizing this framework. And there's multiple other frameworks in the Bible there that gives you clarity. This can give you a breakthrough in your life in any area, whether it's in your health, your wealth, your money problems, your health problems, your identity issue problems, whatever it is. I want you to type yes in the chat. Thank you for typing yes. I see a yes coming in. So with that, I want to thank you guys for showing up, and we're going to do a reflection. Reflect on this. You can think about it, talk it out to yourself, wherever you are. What's your biggest breakthrough or your victory tonight? Let's pray. God, on this new day, give me courage to act from faith, even if there's fear. Use our story for your glory or good. Amen. We receive to give. We receive to give. Thank you again, guys, for joining tonight. I hope you rest in peace and sweet sleep to wake up rejuvenated to battle for the next day, to become and blossom into your most magnetic identity so you can build life, build freedom, build your life and your freedom. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.